Welcome to the first Silver Tears Tarot reading on YouTube. So, for those of you I haven't already met, I'm Silver and this is Silver Tears Tarot. So, I have been thinking about starting this channel for a while, and I've even talked with a few of you about it. And today, when I woke up, it just sort of felt like the perfect day to dive in and pull an early September reading. So, as I started to shuffle, I realized the messages felt a little segmented, so I decided to make it a pick a card reading. You can take a look at the piles and just see which one resonates with you the most, but I wouldn't think about it too long. Just, take a nice breath, see which one calls to you, and if you can't choose, you're welcome to watch all of them because in some ways it sort of felt like it was the same story but at different parts of the timeline. So pick one or pick them all. You will see the timestamps down below. And while you're thinking about which pile you want, just know I did put some information down below the video about how the channel works and how to reach me and so on. But I will just say here, these are general readings that I'm doing for the collective, so they may not resonate with everyone. Hopefully they do resonate with you, and this is what drew you to me, because I am really glad that you have found Silver Tears Tarot. Okay, pick your pile and let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so if you chose pile 1, this is going to be the Tarot of Dragons with a nice opalite that's sitting on top of it. And so let's see, we are here to understand what it is that's coming your way in September. So these readings are timeless, but this is when I'm doing it. It's kind of right at the beginning of September. And the first thing that we're going to want to understand is kind of the purpose for the reading. Okay, so we have the Five of Swords that's come out. Let me give you a look at that. So the Five of Swords tells me that there's some kind of anxiety going on. So that's the purpose. That's the reason that that we would be pulling cards. Why we're together. All right, so now we are looking at kind of the setting for the situation, and I'll clarify. Let's see. Oh, okay, so we have Nine of Pentacles. All right, so things look better than they are. I always just kind of take the top card there. So we have a situation where there is a little bit of anxiety. Something isn't quite feeling right, but it looks right. It looks maybe even better than it is. Okay, let's see here. What's sticking out the most about this? You know, as we start asking for the universe to give you some guidance, what sticks out the most? And it's the Star. So there is something that's coming your way that is very possibly just sort of destined for you. But it's exciting. It's exciting. There's something coming your way that's exciting, but there's some anxiety built around that. So let's take a closer look kind of at what's happening there. And this will be the next question. Really just kind of digging a bit deeper. Tell me more about this exciting thing. Is this one card? Nope. Let's see. Okay, well, let's see. We want to take this one. Okay, so this is the Sire of Pentacles, which is kind of like the King of Pentacles, but it's in reverse. So this is telling us, actually what I feel coming off of that card is a feeling of not being worthy or not being ready. So whatever's coming, and this is the anxiety, whatever's coming your direction that's super exciting, you feel like you're not ready for somehow, but you sure look ready to the onlooking observer. So what's hidden here? Okay, let's see. So we have the Empress, and the Empress, that's you. Okay, this is your energy, and that Empress energy is just very, it's more developed. It's very solid, stable. It's kind of the best part of every queen, you know, it's all put together is the Empress. So this is nurturing, this is logical. It's really just the full package. And let's take a look to see what's coming your way during the month of September. Learn a little bit more about this. Okay, and we have the Five of Wands. All right, so the Five of Wands can be a struggle, okay? And we know that whatever it is, you've got some anxiety about it. It's a big deal, and it's coming your way as almost a feeling of destiny to it. And you look like you're really ready for it. You are deep down really ready for it, and that's the part you probably don't realize. And then over here, we see that people believe you are, in fact, ready for it. So, but when it comes your way, perhaps it feels like a little bit more of a struggle for you. So, I guess let's dig into that and understand a little bit more. Um, I have chosen the Wheel of Fortune Tarot to, let's get your energy in there. And this is the energy of the collective across September for clarity. Okay, so there's action, there's excitement coming your way. So let's go ahead and clarify. This is the Wheel of Fortune Tarot that we'll be using to clarify. And so this is, why is the Five of Swords here? The reason that we're here is your anxiety. Oh, you have a choice you need to make. Now, it could be a choice in love, and you're worried about jumping in. Let's see here. Okay, so you have some anxiety over a choice that's coming for you regarding this opportunity. You're a little nervous about jumping in. And honestly, sometimes I get off of that card that you don't want to look like a fool. The fool, it does not always mean the fool, but in this case, it feels like you really just don't want to look that way. But then looking at this Nine of Pentacles, so you are being, this is the setting. This is, but what I'm hearing about it is that you are being perceived as really being ready for this opportunity. So maybe we get a little bit of clarity around that. Just kind of, what else are you being perceived as? So we have the Knight of Pentacles. So you've worked your way into this kind of slowly but surely. Pick up a couple cards. And then let's see if we've got maybe, oh, and the Knight of Wands. So this, we saw knights trying to come out earlier when I was just sort of getting your energy into this. But the situation is you're perceived as ready. You've done the work and you have what it takes. Whoever is observing you feels like you are ready for the next step and that you're going to hit it with the appropriate energy. So let's look a little bit more at what this is. So this is what's sticking out the most, and it was sort of that that opportunity. Spirit was bursting to tell us that there was an opportunity here, and it's exciting and it's like destined for you. So telling us a little bit more about that, please. Why is the star here? Oh, the Emperor. Oh my goodness, and it's a balanced Emperor. Okay, so that is a very nice, attracting energy. Okay, let's see. This is just looking like an awesome opportunity for you. And maybe you are a little bit scared about it, feeling that you're not ready for it. But it sounds like maybe you are ready for it. Folks that have taken a step back and looked at your situation are feeling like you are ready for this. This could be career oriented. Okay. One more shuffle, and if it doesn't come out, then we don't get additional clarification on that one. All right, so then moving on to see. So this is that King of Pentacles that's in reverse, and that is what I was feeling from that was really, I just don't feel ready for this. You know, that you're not feeling ready for this. Okay, so the Nine of Wands. Oh, you've been working really hard. This is one card. Okay, and Temperance. You feel like things are out of balance. So maybe you feel like the time isn't right, or you're tired and you need a rest before you get to that next step. But what's hidden here? Okay, so this Nine of Cups in reverse. And this is clarifying this Empress here. So recall, this Empress was Spirit wanting you to know, yes, you are ready. So this Nine of Cups in reverse is really all about, listen, this is you. This isn't the way you expected things to come true, but you're being advised to go forward. You're being advised to go forward. And then when we look at really what is coming your way, and it looks like you're coming at it as well, we see that there's a little bit of a struggle there. Okay, but this is a new beginning. It's a new beginning that's going to have some emotional impact on you. So if it's a relationship, obviously some emotional impact. And if it's a new relationship, maybe it's not new. Maybe it's somebody kind of coming back. Judgment every once in a while will give me that feel of a relationship coming back together. And if that's the case, then maybe you don't quite feel like you're ready for it, but it's actually a soul, like a requirement that the two of you come back together. And it sounds like you truly are ready. And if it's a career, same thing. So I guess let's pull an oracle card for you real quick and just kind of like advice. What do you most need to hear as far as additional advice? I know there's been some advice in here already, but just to what would pull it all together for us? Had one almost try and come out. So I always, when I get multiple cards, I take the top card unless I am guided otherwise. And if a single one comes out, I take that one. All right, so deception, advice, your advice around deception. And what I'm feeling off of that is really just you're going to be moving into new territory, and there could absolutely be some things there that you need to be aware of. So just keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes open and make sure that not that you anticipate that there will be a bunch of deception, just be aware that there could be a little bit of that going on. And I guess, let me just grab one more card for you to see what else might Spirit want to tell you about this situation. Okay, and here we have the Three of Cups, but in reverse. Okay, so I'm just going to try and set that there. I'm running out of room. But the Three of Cups in reverse, well, that's really about telling you something is not a good time. Except it's not in the future. It's like in the past or maybe even the present. This is really something currently is maybe driving you toward this new opportunity. But you need to use this. Whatever's happening here, make sure that you are using this as an impetus to move toward this soul requirement. It feels like a soul requirement, and it's a new start, or at least something that is going to reunite you with a value or possibly even a person from before. And yeah, it's bringing you some anxiety, but you're ready for this. Okay, so that is really the message that comes out around pile one. So if this one resonated with you, you can check out what's happening in the extended. The link is below. And of course, remember to like, share, and subscribe if you are so interested to do so. Otherwise, thanks so much. Okay, and now for pile two. So for those of you who chose pile two, that's the one with the Labradorite. You can see it's got a little bit of shimmer. I don't know if you guys can see it. And this is the Spirit Song Tarot that we'll be using for you. So that's the deck that you chose, and we're going to be looking at what is coming your way through the month of September. And we might update it later in the month, but this is just kind of that early September look at what's coming your way. And so the first thing that I kind of want to understand is, what's the big idea? Okay, so Eight of Cups. You are, we'll have to clarify this, but you're either walking away from something or walking towards something. So, well, I said the Eight of Cups. In this deck, it's the Eight of Shells. And so it's shells are the equivalent of cups, and they represent water energy. So that's an 8. So that's going to be you moving towards something that you care deeply about, or moving away from something that you need to walk away from. Like I said, we'll clarify these. So thinking, okay, about the setting. Gosh, I didn't even get the question all the way out. So we've got 3 of feathers. And so feathers represent air energy in this deck. And so that's like in the traditional tarot, that would be the swords. So, all right. So there's sadness. There's heartbreak here. Okay, so there's heartbreak and maybe a sense of needing to walk away from something. Let's see, what is sticking out the most about this? What does Spirit most want to tell us about this situation that involves heartbreak and you having to walk away? All right, so the 7 of crystals in reverse. And so the 7 of crystals in reverse, and I always just take the top card. In this deck, crystals represent earth energy. And so that's going to be like the 7 of Pentacles. And I get this sense, I'm starting to get a feeling coming out because I feel the sadness and kind of the overarching energy. It's kind of like the weather for our reading is this, it's that sadness. We know that there's been a sense of you walking away or needing to walk away. I can't tell if that's already happened. And then, but this here, so this is like, this feels like if it doesn't matter what happens, it's never quite good enough. That's what that feels like to me when I set that down. So, and sometimes I get that off the 7 of Pentacles in reverse. But yeah, that's what I'm feeling like. No matter what you put in, you never get out what you put in. Okay, so let's dig a little bit deeper into that. I'm still getting the sense that these stories are kind of maybe connected, but on a different part of the timeline, in case you're one of the people that had trouble choosing. So looking a little bit more deeply into it, we see some hermit energy, just kind of going within. But this hermit feels like there's the spiritual growth attached to it. Sometimes you get that, sometimes you don't. You go away into what I like to call the thinking cave for a little while, and then there's internal change that's happening here. And so that's making me kind of feel like this situation pushed you to a place where you needed to do some thinking. So what else did Spirit want you to know about this? What is kind of that hidden energy? Okay, let's see. Oh, the star. And this has that familiar feeling of divine timing and things needing to sort themselves out. So I'm trying to push this up to where you'll be able to see it. But yeah, so this has that feeling of divine timing and something that is inevitable. And we saw that if you listened to deck 1, or pick pile 1, then you also will have heard that there was something like that going on, something destined. So what's coming your way? That's okay, so 9 of feathers. And so this is going to be a lot of thinking, overthinking. Let's get a little bit closer and understand. I think I want to clarify with the Forest of Enchantment Tarot. So this is the Forest of Enchantment Tarot, and just kind of going through it once. All right, and I'm going to start up here at the top. So just to kind of talk about what we've got on the table so far, there's a need to walk away from something, or you've already walked away from it. There's a lot of pain associated with this, and kind of no matter what you did, it was never enough. Whatever you brought was never enough. So it's put you into a situation where you've been having to do some learning, And the resolution for this is coming. There is something that you will still, we need to get clarification for this, but there's something that you will still need to do, and it's destiny for you, but it's not time yet. And then here we see this is like the equivalent of the Nine of Swords. So this is that overthinking, but overthinking to the point of anxiety sort of energy. In this case, though, it's really difficult to say because it's got more than that feeling coming off of it. So I'll be interested to see what happens when we clarify. So to clarify that Eight of Shells, which is like the Eight of Cups. Why is the Eight of Shells here? Why is the Eight of Shells here? Tell us a little bit more about that walking away or feeling that need to walk away. Okay, so we have the Council of Animals, and this is like the equivalent of judgment. Okay, so this is what it looks like kind of in the upright, and then, but it came out in the reverse. So something did not pass judgment. And as I say, I generally only take the top card unless I feel guided to take more than that. Most of the time it's just the top one. Let's see if there's anything else to say about that Eight of Shells. So you've walked away, something has not passed judgment. So this is something that, oh, it took time for you to get to that point. Yeah, there's consternation. That word keeps coming up for me in different parts. All right, so let's see here. We don't want those. We want this one. So the Ten of Boons. In this deck, boons are pentacles. Oh, this is the life you wanted. The life you wanted. Something that represents the life you wanted. And the thing is, I don't get the sense that your life is really like terrible. It's just there was something here that represented the pinnacle of, not the pentacle, but I guess the pinnacle, pentacle, what you really wanted in your life, and something about it isn't actually measuring up. And so you've walked away, which, yeah, I guess would create some heartbreak. What else about the emotions? What's happening here? Sometimes you get emotions in there. Okay, so the Green Mother. Well, this is the equivalent of the Empress in this deck. Okay. So there is some really just deep emotion there, and almost a sense of archetypes being shattered here. What else? Here we go. So let's see. Child of Challenges. So this is like the Page of Swords in reverse. And this Page of Swords, so there may be children involved. That's always a possibility when you see a page. But what I'm seeing here is really just that sort of absence of confidence, that youthful confidence and exuberance that you kind of can feel when things are really exciting. Maybe that's not so present anymore. Maybe you're not feeling like you are as youthfully exuberant, and it's because of the pain from whatever happened here that you've had to walk away from, that really represented kind of the life that you would want. Okay, so let's take a look at this Seven of Crystals in reverse. And so again, this is like the Seven of Pentacles in reverse in a traditional deck. And what I got off of it, remember, was here's something that no matter what you do, it's not good enough. And so here we have the Four of Challenges, which is the Four of Swords. So that, what I'm really kind of feeling, sometimes the Four of Swords is rest and rejuvenation, but that's not what I'm getting right now. What I'm really getting is that there was a need for rest and rejuvenation, a need to heal. Something is too raw, and that's part of what's creating the problem. So let's see if there's anything else on that one. Oh, okay. Weaver of Boons. Okay, so this is like the Queen of Pentacles. Okay. And the Queen of Pentacles is just, it kind of really represents that nourishing, nurturing sort of queen. It's represented by earth energy, and it's what you brought. It's what you brought. So whether you're male or female, you brought a nurturing sort of homey, I see that connection over here too, energy to this, and it didn't work out. Something didn't pass judgment. Okay, so digging a little bit deeper in, we see that it's put you into a situation where now you are looking for a little bit more of that soul nourishment now. You're doing some learning. Let's learn a little bit more about what you're seeing there and what you might be experiencing, what you need to know. Advice kind of just comes in sometimes right in the middle of these. Okay, so this is the Lovers card, and it's in reverse. But really, this is about a choice. You didn't have a choice. And so you're being kind of forced into this position to have to learn this lesson. So this isn't necessarily something, oh, I'm getting a vision of the spiral. So this spiral where it's like a maze, so there are walls and you're going through the spiral, and as you're getting closer to the center, you're realizing like you don't have anywhere else to run. There was only one direction, and it was towards the center of the spiral. And so you're getting to a place where these lessons they have to come. Tell me more about that. That was an interesting one. Oh, got one that turned over here. Okay, so the Weaver of Visions. This is about that, oh, it's unconditional love. So that's water energy. And it's really just unconditional love. That's the feel coming off of that. So the feeling of unconditional love, but I've got no choice but to go into this. So the unconditional love is really kind of coming from your, the greater portion of yourself that's here to help guide you through it. So if you ever meditate and you kind of see that light that comes up, that's part of you. Sometimes it can be something else, but it can be part of you, and it's here to support you. It's part of why you're never really alone. Okay, so looking at what Spirit wanted you to know, there's something that's destined, but it's not time yet. What else can we hear about that? It's not time yet, but it's destined for you. It's just part of your picture. And we have Child of Spells. Okay, so that is fire energy. It's like a page of Wands, and that's a very curious sort of page. So tell us a little bit more about that. It's a curious page, but it's also sometimes he's a little bit overconfident. And that's the thing you got to worry about there. So be careful as you step into this. It might not be time yet because you are still building up your arsenal of what you're going to need to truly face the situation. You might feel ready before you have everything you need. Okay, so the Fairy Wind, and this is really going to be kind of like the Chariot card. So that's the motivation that's coming from within you rather than external to you. So this is intrinsic. You're intrinsically motivated, and this is really, you've got a great big curiosity here. It's truly not ready yet, but I did get the sense that you kind of feel like you are. So tell us more about this anxiety energy. Just one card. Okay, so, all right. This is about you. Oh, it's about vulnerability. So you are going to have to drop some of what happened up here. So when you see the pain of this up here that has caused you to maybe stop asking as many questions or to be as confident with yourself, that's part of what you're going to want to have to get rid of here. And so with this Weaver of Challenges card, that's like a Queen of Swords in reverse. And so instead of cutting things out, it's really going to be about being able to see that big picture and still let things in anyway. It's about opening your heart to give and receive love like breathing. Okay, which one do we want? We want the one on the table. Okay. All right, so this is the Keeper of Spells. Okay, again, with that fire energy. And so this is really passionate fire energy, but it's you learning to leverage that passion. So there is some anxiety around this, and this is about the lessons that you're going to be learning. It's not necessarily a bad thing. This is just, you are going to be going through some uncomfortable learning. Transformation, if you look at my Instagram post from a couple days ago, transformation and metamorphosis is all about going through these periods that can sometimes be uncomfortable, but what comes out the other side can be pretty amazing. So let that passion ring, and then let's get you an oracle card too while we're at it. Okay, so intuition and manifestation. I was feeling this for you earlier. I was kind of expecting the high priestess to come out, because there is a sense that you need to follow your intuition, because you've got some big things happening for you right now. The energy is good for things to come to you right now. So as you're learning this lesson that's going to be associated with kind of this going into your thinking cave and doing some development, it's coming from this heartbreak and this feel that no matter what you do, it's just kind of, it's never quite enough. And it made you like something didn't pass judgment and you had to walk away from it. So now it's time to go ahead and learn these lessons that are going to help get you to the other side of this. But you'll be relying on your passion. You're going to have to be vulnerable. You're going to have to allow yourself to give and receive love. But you're going to be able to manifest what it is that you want in this life, which, as we see, maybe you're feeling like all is lost there, but maybe it's not. And I feel like I just want to get you one more card. Last message. Okay, so Ace of Acorns, and this is about not jumping in. Okay. Acorns in this deck are fire energy, and so in this case it's holding your fire. It's not a bad thing. It's not saying don't be passionate. You're definitely being told to rely on your passion here, but to not jump in, kind of without thinking. To not jump in without thinking. And so this has been kind of interesting. I feel like everything maybe is on a similar storyline, but just different parts of the timeline. And of course, everyone's story will be a little bit different. But this is an interesting story that has come across here, and some great learning that's going to be coming for you. And so, if that's within the month of September, then I guess there's a lot coming here. There's also some more that we could look into, I think, with this reading. So, if this pile number 2 resonated with you, then hopefully I will see you in the extended. The link is down below. And then, of course, as always, remember to like, share, and subscribe if you are so inclined. And I hope this was helpful for you, and I'll see you next time. And last but not least, pile 3. If you chose pile 3, we're going to find out the messages that want to come out for you for the month of September. So this was the pile with one of my favorite stones, which is this banded agate. Absolutely love this one. And we're going to be using the Healing Light Tarot, and I wanted to clarify with the Revelations Tarot, so you'll see that one come out in just a minute. But getting started with this one, again, we're just kind of looking at what's happening in the month of September. And so, like I was telling one of the others, one of the other piles, we could maybe check into the energy again, but this is the early September read. Oh, I wonder if this overlaps with one of our timelines. So we've got the Tower kind of, that's the reason that we're having this reading today. That's kind of the first question that I want to ask. What's the reason for the reading? What's the big idea? And then I want to see a little bit more about kind of the weather for the reading. What's the setting? What do we need to understand about this from an overarching energy sort of. Oh, okay. Things are moving relatively quickly. So you've got a tower, which is a major upheaval. We'll clarify in a minute. And things are moving quickly with it. So right away, this is kind of interesting. I wonder if these are, and I'm not sure, but I wonder if these are, if piles 1, 2, and 3 were almost in like chronological order, because what needed to happen next in pile 2 was kind of this tower situation. Anyway, all right, so let's see. What is most sticking out about this situation? What is Spirit bursting to tell us about? Oop, I dropped a couple. About this situation. Okay, we have one that has, oh, it looks like the 8 of Swords. Yes. So that is the overthinking, and so there's a sense of overthinking here that and we saw this again in a different one of the stacks, could turn into anxiety, but there's a lot of fast moving energy and some sort of upheaval. I guess we need to learn a little bit more about the nature of it to understand kind of what is driving us, but it feels like kind of the healing end of things. So let's dig a little bit deeper into this and just sort of understand what else there is for us to know about this situation. All right, so oh, there's that fear of jumping in or that fear of jumping off, and we've seen that as well. What else do we need to know? Hidden energies, stuff that's less obvious. Oh, it's going to be really hard to motivate. And being really hard to motivate could be challenging, because that's part of what you'll need to do to kind of get yourself through this. And this is that intrinsic motivation that comes from within rather than the energies around you that are moving. So the energies around you are moving. That's almost got that minor arcana wheel of fortune sort of feel to it. It really feels like the wheel of fortune. Like energy is moving around you, but your energy might not be moving. So what else? What's coming your way? Like, how would we sum up what's coming your way? We have the Page of Swords in reverse. Okay, and so in this particular way this feels, so the Page of Swords can be really confident and daring and kind of jumping into things, and this is not that, though. This is the ability to not jump into things. So here you have an unwillingness kind of to jump into things, and here you have more of a feeling of wisdom about not jumping into things. So before we can get to that, we would probably have to go through a little something. I'm curious to learn a little bit more about that. So maybe let's go ahead and clarify. And again, I wanted to clarify with the Revelations deck. So this is a beautiful deck, and it's probably one that I use, I don't know, probably 5 times a week. It's great clarifier, especially when you kind of feel like you might need to get to the bottom of something. So this will be good for us today. It's a good starting deck too. So let's understand this tower a little bit better. What kind of tower is this? And the tower is an upheaval. So, okay. 6 of Pentacles in reverse. This is unequal give and take. All right. I only like to take that top card when a few of them come out like that. And so we have the 5 of Wands in reverse here. This is about... So sometimes the 5 of Wands in reverse is about not wanting to struggle, or that's not what I'm seeing here. The 5 of Wands in the upright sometimes is about people being able to actually get it together and cooperate and do something constructive. But what I'm seeing here is that that has failed. And that's what creates this tower. So people are not getting together and being constructive. There is not equal give and take. And I get the sense that it is both material and emotional give and take that isn't equal here. So that tells us a little bit about what's going to cause this tower. And the energy is moving quickly around you too. So I was curious to learn a bit more about that. So we've got the Three of Cups in reverse. And this is the not a very good time Three of Cups. We don't want that one. Okay, we've got another one that came out. And this is the Emperor in reverse. So this is that unbalanced sort of controlling type of emperor. This one can be little on the arrogant side. So and there's that sense of just not feeling like it's a good time. Something isn't fun. When you have to go out and do something, if this is a person, you don't enjoy going out and doing something. Somebody's being controlling. It's really ramped up lately. Things are not equal in the give and take category. And like I said, that feels like it's in more than one way. And there's not been constructive. Like this is, I have to dip down into the energy and I can almost smell like this is about to blow. That's kind of what this feels like. And so the thing that's sticking out the most is this, I want to say it's anxiety, but it's not. It's leading up to anxiety. This is overthinking that leads up to anxiety. Tell me a little bit more about this. Let's see. We've got the Seven of Swords, but it's in reverse. Okay. And in this case, it's not that dishonest Seven of Swords. It's like that that Seven of Swords where you have a plan, you have a strategy. There's no strategy. That's the problem. That's why it feels bad. And the Six of Swords, there's sadness. There's some sort of damage has already been done, and that hasn't healed. So we're seeing a little bit of that as well, along with this overthinking. So it's almost like equating it to things that have happened in the past, not having a plan, that's what leads to the anxiety. So if there's a lesson in that, it's to come up with a plan or to connect with someone that can help come up with a plan. Because right now there's this feeling of not wanting to jump in or not wanting to jump off. This is a strong fear card, but it's more than just a strong fear card. It's that, like I was saying earlier, that unwillingness to jump. So let's look a little bit more into that. And it's just amplified by the repeating message of the Fool in reverse. So but it's got that added. So sometimes the Fool has that feeling of not wanting to feel like a fool, and that one comes out here too. So, but it's interesting here. You've got the Fool in reverse, and it's clarified by the Fool in reverse. So those sort of messages you always want to kind of pay special attention to, because those are stronger messages. There's only one Fool in the deck, in this deck. I've got a deck where it's got more than one. Okay, so Eight of Cups. This has you... Ooh, hold on though. So you're feeling unable to jump in or jump off, but you will walk away. You will disengage. This is disengagement, sort of walking away. But this is almost, as we look into that hidden energies and what does Spirit really want you to know, it connects here to this Eight of Cups. So this Eight of Cups is showing a willingness to disengage even when you can't jump off or walk away. But this is that sort of almost aftermathy feeling of not being able to move after you've emotionally disengaged. So What can you say? Why is the Chariot here in reverse? Okay. We have the Chariot in the upright, so okay. All right. Um, they're both the Chariot, and that's significant, but they have different messages. So this one is pointing out your position of sort of feeling like I can't move after having made this decision to disengage, this tower moment that occurred. And you're the other side of it is saying, like, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. And that's what this Chariot is. That Chariot is telling you that you must kind of get on your feet. All right. And we also have the Strength card here. So the Strength card doesn't ever show up just in a vacuum. Strength is here because you need it. Um, and it's in the upright. You're going to be able to do this. You're going to be able to pull yourself out of this this situation because you know you have to, and you're going to be able to move forward. Um, but it leads to this situation here with the Page of Swords, where you are more measured and more thinking about your actions before you take them, because you've really learned something in all this. So remember, over here we saw, oh, I love this. I already saw the card. So we saw that you had kind of an unwillingness to jump off, and here you have a willingness to evaluate it and like to discern whether you should be jumping off. But what we have here is the Eight of Swords in reverse, which here we saw it in the upright. Here we saw all of the kind of consternation. That word has come up again. All of the sort of consternation and difficulty, and the I don't have a plan, I wasn't ready for this, is causing overthinking that leads to this anxiety. Well, here, once you've, I guess, crossed this bridge, you could say, you're no longer that person. You're now in a position where you're more discerning. You don't just necessarily jump off because it's there. And you're also not doing a lot of overthinking about it. So let's see, what else can you tell us about this one? I'm really starting to like this spread. This is spread that I was inspired to use here just recently. Okay, you're going to be presented with a situation where there isn't a choice, and you're going to be okay with it. You're going to be presented, you're going to be tested. So this is, once you cross that bridge that brings you from being unwilling to jump off and kind of working through the difficulties with motivation and getting yourself on your feet and moving forward, you come to a place where you're actually doing pretty well emotionally. There's an emotional stability to this, and certainly with the lack of overthinking, that's significant. But you're going to come to a place where you don't have a choice in something, and you are going to be tested to kind of handle that. So I wonder if maybe that's something that we look into in the extended, because I want to pull you an oracle card from the Quantum Oracle to kind of give you an idea of what you should be doing right now. But I'm curious to know what this thing is that you get presented with. Oh, all right. So this is about not letting go. This is about, and we saw this, maybe go and watch the, I don't know if it was the YouTube or the extended for pile 2, but it was about not necessarily being able to let go, and that being the lesson here. And you've got that lesson too. And maybe we'll look a little bit more into that in the extended too, because I definitely want to understand what it is that you don't have a choice about and the test that's coming for you. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. So, wow, this one got kind of intense and interesting. Definitely a bit of a difficult time that's sort of emerging right here. This is the now card. This is the what's happening and Why are we having this reading? Why are you watching this reading? And we're seeing that there's a lot of energy that's sort of moving right now, but it's not necessarily positive because there's been a situation here that did not it was not people being constructive. Things have not come together, and now it's caused this feeling that could only be described as consternation in my mind again. And it's that feeling where you don't know what to do about it, and it's very challenging because emotionally maybe you weren't quite ready for it, and it's caused a little bit of a shutdown, but you've walked away. You've walked away, but now you're spent from it. You're spent from having walked away. You're going to have to motivate yourself to stand up and get moving. But when you get there, you're going to get to a place where you are much less concerned about the sorts of things that just happen to you, but you will be tested. And one of the things that you have to understand is that you need to be able to let go when the time comes. So, wow. Okay, that was pretty amazing. I do want to see what happens here in the extended, so hopefully we will see each other again there if this pile resonated with you. I would ask you to like, share, and subscribe if you are inclined to do that. And thanks so much for joining me here today. Have a great one.